When nothing is sure, everything is possible. In times of crisis, embrace the power of possibility, the power of you, in choosing a bright future with UE Roytec. Crises bring opportunities. Opportunities which UE Roytec has mastered and used for growth and renewal. Our fully accredited cutting-edge programs will position you to take advantage of career opportunities in an ever-changing and exciting new world. Whether face-to-face, remote, or hybrid, UE Roytec's rewarding learning experience is shaped by a globally connected curriculum, delivered by highly competent faculty and backed by enabling technology. The possibilities are endless. We have 34 years of experience in empowering learners. Join us as we take hold of the future and place you on your path to career success. Register today to experience the possibilities at UE Roytec.
UE Roytec, your path to career success. To learn more, log on to www.roytec.edu.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Hello, wherever you are in the region or the world. Welcome to UE Roytec's very first live stream event for 2022. It is absolutely great to be back, and we are so appreciative of the time that you have taken to join us in your lunch hour today. We trust that you and your families continue to remain safe, healthy, and in good spirits. I am Genevieve Julian, Manager Corporate Training and Community Engagement at UE Roytec. Today, we are talking about digital transformation with my special guest, Mr. Shyam Mohammed. Shyam is a key member of the IT faculty at UE Roytec. He has more than 18 years experience teaching at the tertiary level. In addition to his knowledge in the area of information and communications technology, Shyam's expertise also lie in areas such as data science, blockchain technologies, cyber securities, and artificial intelligence. So let us welcome to the screen Mr. Shyam Mohammed. Shyam, welcome.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. I'm really excited to discuss a very, very important topic in today's world, digital transformation. So
Yes.
Thank you for welcome.
It's so great to have you with us. And indeed, it is an extremely important topic in today's business world, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly caused many companies to place focus on digital transformation if they had not been doing so before. The business sector found itself having to grapple with work from home arrangements, which have now become hybrid working arrangements, new ways to communicate with employees, with their customers in a virtual space, new ways to deliver value, to generate revenue and improve efficiency. All of this could not have been done without the whole concept of digital transformation. So Shyam, let's begin the conversation simply by you telling us what is digital transformation and why is it necessary in today's business world?
Yes, so happy to share that digital transformation is everything today. We live in a world in 2022 where many things have changed, and companies do need to adjust so that they could take advantage or keep ahead of the competition using relevant technologies that are very, very important in today's world. The possibilities are unlimited. You could use these technologies for almost any industry, but more important than the technologies themselves are the people, and that's something that needs to be understood and clearly, articulated at the top, so that people are familiar, they understand what digital transformation is about. There are quite a few misconceptions. There's different definitions, but there are similarities in those differences. Digital transformation is the future. That future is now. It happens all over the world, here included many banks, many insurance companies, any industry you could think about. They are embarking on these digital transformation initiatives, and they are aware of some of the possibilities, but the discussions, just as we are having here, are critical to understanding what it is, what are the benefits, how do you successfully leverage these technologies. And again, it's more people, so it's alignment with people together with the technology, working hand in hand to deliver these benefits. But the benefits are it's very, very significant, and new ways of doing things, even in terms of ways of working or processes, etc., are always being enhanced literally every day. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, Shyam. And I absolutely love that point about digital transformation being as much about people as it is about technology. So, really, for digital transformation, it involves the integration of digital technologies into businesses, as we would have seen over the last 2 years, and also how that technology has fundamentally changed the ways in which companies operate, how they deliver value to their customers, how they communicate with their customers and with staff and with key stakeholders. You've spoken about processes and how we've been able to improve our processes and become more efficient with the whole concept of digital transformation. And staying on that topic about digital transformation and people, can you share with our audience how companies can help their employees to embrace digital transformation? What can companies do to become prepared? How do they embrace this whole concept of digital transformation?
That's a very, very good question. And it's key, it's critical to start well, right? Having a firm understanding of what it is, using technology together with people to improve not just staff outcomes, but consumers. It's of benefit to everyone. Once done right, it's technically or actually magical, right? Easier said than done, but at the same time, there are many, many benefits. For companies to become prepared to engage with these things, they need critical success factors. These factors may include, as mentioned before, understanding what these technologies are. They're very, very helpful. Honestly, there is change, but there's nothing to be afraid of at the same time. It is a process, and having the right training and awareness, the right people in place, redesigning certain things for everyone's benefit is of very important priority. So having that leadership support, making sure that your executives, your C-suite understand exactly what this is, how can it bring benefit to me as a company, as an individual, what are the team dynamics, right? Because that's important as well. So changing the culture, changing the mindset of persons, changing honestly their hearts as to being able to embrace it. And again, it's more about people engaging with the technologies. There are frameworks that you could use, right? These frameworks have been tested, they've been tried, and they do work, right? But you do need these frameworks. You need to understand where your company is. So you need to do an assessment of where the company's position is in terms of that. You do need, as another priority, another key success factor with digital transformation is that you do need to have a common data vocabulary. So not computer literacy, that's different. You need to understand what these terms are. There's a lot of terms with digital transformation. So I'm sure everyone would have heard about big data analytics, machine learning, business analytics. There's a difference between business analytics and data analytics. Blockchain, fintech, all these different technologies that benefit everyone, every stakeholder in that industry. So they do need that leadership buy-in. By helping them understand exactly what it is, having a community where they could share ideas and understand that this is the future, this is now, um, and preparing them to use that data. So they need a data-driven culture, so that, and there are tools and techniques that allow or facilitate that. You also need something referred to as data governance. Um, Also, having alignment between everything. And again, it is a process. It's a process of exploration, trial and error sometimes, but on the other side of it, it is magical. There are many, many benefits for companies. Once digital transformation is done right, with the right training, etc., it's limitless. There are many, many benefits for everyone. Benefits businesses as well as society, the wider population, and all stakeholders once done well.
Shyam, I just want to hone in there on two specific areas that you have discussed. And if I am to categorize, so to speak, on some of those very important points that you have mentioned there. So I am thinking for us to move forward with digital transformation, I'm seeing here that we need two specific pillars. We need to have persons understand their current business environment and the digital landscape. So that would include the technology, the people, and their understanding of it, the training and development that is required, the governance structure that you spoke about, and so on. And then, on the other hand, the company culture, which is absolutely an integral part to the success of any digital strategy, any digital transformation strategy. And here I want to purport that we possibly need to adopt a culture of experimentation and learning in order to be able to find that right formula that you spoke about, because you said when digital transformation is done right, it can be absolutely magical. We can see results that can propel us into, a level of advancement as companies. And if I am to share from our own personal experience here at UWI-ROYTEC, that is specifically what happened with us during the pandemic. We got on to that whole culture of learning, of investigating, experimenting with different types of technologies and so on. And we've definitely reaped the rewards of that as a tertiary institution. Everyone being on board and sharing the same passionate culture to move the institution forward. So we've said a lot in terms of what digital transformation is and how it can improve the operational aspects of various companies and so on. Now, I want you to share with us any specific industries that you think digital transformation applies to, or can it be applied to various industries? Let's hear from you.
Nice. So, another very excellent question. These technologies can apply to any industry. Some industries you think that may not be in alignment with technology, you can. So sometimes persons may think that real estate, right, or may not be related to technology, but it actually is. You could apply this to healthcare, which is so relevant today. Real estate, banking, any industry imaginable, right? Each industry is different, so you do need to know what to apply to those industries. With the start discussed previously, having people with the relevant training and experience, understanding what these technologies are, right? That's a very strong start there. And then being able to apply it to any industry. So, for example, in real estate, many advantages, right? And we could discuss a few, but again, it is limitless. You could apply it to manufacturing, any industry you could think about, right? Um, in real estate, for example, if you have, of course, most, if not all companies, do have, operational or strategic problems, right? Which is natural. And um, companies need to solve these problems using digital transformation, which is a process. Um, Examples where it can apply in real estate in the sense of helping different stakeholders, such as potential homeowners, real estate agents, other stakeholders that are involved. And again, it is a collaborative effort where everyone does need to discuss these key areas, um, look at what will work, what will not work in that context, because every real estate company, for example, is different, right? So you do need to explore those areas. And real estate, benefits to that industry would be like making really good investment decisions. So making decisions based on not just your gut feeling, which is valuable, but I mean, if you could use that together with what the data is telling you, and that data does have to be clean. That's a technical concept, which means that it's trusted. It's also accurate. Nothing is 100% accurate, so it's fairly accurate, right, etc. And it is a process to get there, because those that are in data science, etc., can appreciate that um, one of the tricky areas is for a data preparation, right? But everything else what follows from that, and it's easier, right? So stakeholders can make the best decision in terms of investing. Stakeholders such as homeowners, if they need to decide on what housing or location arrangement is best for them at that time, they could use data to inform their decision. That's why it's referred to as data-driven decisions, right? Not just what you mean, it's what the data is telling you. Another thing is improving customer satisfaction. They are happy that they made the right decision based on the information. You can predict trends. There's predict what the value of properties might be in future, right? And therefore, all stakeholders have this information that they could use strategically to enhance their competitive standing in the local context, but not just that, in this global context as well.
Right. So,
Yeah,
Shyam, let me just interject there because that very important point about data and using data to make informed decisions in an organization. I just want to reiterate that that does not only apply to the real estate industry that you use to give an example of
correct.
how the what an example of digital transformation and how it impacts a particular industry. And that one takes me to the point about any particular company, regardless of the industry that they operate in, that they can start from a position of evaluating the current technology solutions that they may have in their particular organizations. So this is where you start. You start where the data is. And the data will tell you, based on what the data is telling you, you would know the direction in which you want to go. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that you brought up the whole topic of data and how important data is in this whole digital transformation journey. So let's talk a little bit about that and the role of data in DT.
Right. So digital transformation, one of the key areas is data. So data science, data analytics. It's not limited to that. There are like in banking, fintech, etc. But the role of data in digital transformation is of utmost importance. Having that data readily available for different stakeholders to make their decisions. It's empowering people to make decisions on their own sometimes. Also, helping the business to decide on certain ways, as you mentioned, to go. So you may have, as a business, of course, you'll have important decisions to make strategically, right? And then you can evaluate, given the data that is there, which direction to go, which can be very beneficial to the company, saving them tons of money as financial resources and reducing their cost, because if they make probably potentially a mistake in their decision, it can be costly. So that's where experimentation as well comes into play. But data will help the company as a whole move in the right direction, given that it is 2022 and things are progressing very quickly in this digital landscape.
All right, great. And I love where you ended in terms of moving in the right direction. So then let's talk a bit about the steps that any organization should take as they begin their digital transformation journey. Guide us. What should that journey look like? What do we do first, second, third, as the case may be?
Right. So, as mentioned, right, first, the executors, every person in the organization should understand what digital transformation means. And again, it's more about the people using the technology, but the people are most important, right? Redesigning certain things for better outcomes. So you need to have a clear idea as to what is the strategy. There are actually, as mentioned before, different stages in the digital transformation journey, right? So actually, there is something referred to as a company being, in the position of small data, which is fine. You need to start from somewhere. And then you can transition through digital transformation to becoming more data enabled, right? So for example, you can have those positions met. It is a process, right? And then when you improve and you over time get people more involved in digital transformation, then the company becomes more strategic. It becomes more transformational as well. There are technically 5 steps, generally speaking, to becoming a uh, tr- digital transformation type of company. But there are those stages. Different things do need to be in place at different stages. There is also something referred to as the data science life cycle, and all these things are very important to understand their role that they play in the different stages and how it helps people become empowered to better perform their task. It can be applied to even end user support, helping that tremendously, right? So those are key, having a common vocabulary of what these data terms are, what a data warehouse is, etc. That's key. That should be part of the culture of the company, part of the DNA of the company at some point. But it is a process, and they need to start becoming prepared for this, as it's going to affect and has affected every industry imaginable in every single jurisdiction, here inclusive as well. Every area of life, really, these things impact positively and can be done well with frameworks in place. You also need to assess where you are in something referred to as your maturity position as a company. So before you progress, you need to understand where you're at. So that's very, very important, and determine what the matrix or the digital transformation maturity looks like. and then you can check at each step of the phases where you're at, where you need to improve. But it's an iterative process, which is good. So you always improve as you go, continuous learning throughout, and that culture does have to be in place. But you don't wait for the culture to change entirely and then make a move to that. You move as you go, you learn as you go, and every stakeholder benefits, empowering everyone in that landscape.
Right. Excellent, Shyam. So let me just reiterate some of those points. If we are looking at the pathway to digital transformation, number one, organizations need to understand their current DT capabilities. What does digital transformation mean for them, and what is the actual goal of digital transformation for their organizations? Secondly, they need to build that digital ecosystem. All right. We were talking about data and data mining and where do we retrieve our data from. Where you spoke about learning as you go. So leveraging innovations, being willing to try new things and so on. Sometimes it's trial and error where you learn and grow as an organization. The third point on that whole pathway to digital transformation is developing that mindset for DT, that company culture that is absolutely important, the embracing of the technology and the embracing of the strategies that are required to propel the organization forward. The fourth step on the pathway, establishing partners with you along the journey. We understand that not all the expertise will lie within your company, and that is why institutions like UE-ROYTEC and many others are here to support you and provide you with that training and filling the skills gap so that the persons in your organization can move forward with the agenda of digital transformation on behalf of the organization. And I think the fifth point, which is sort of a lead off to what I was just saying about providing training, that's absolutely important. Getting your employees excited about the possibilities of DT. One of the ways that you can do that is through training and development. And so our goal at UE Roytec is to facilitate the development of a skilled workforce, which is crucial to the advancement of the digital transformation agenda. Digital transformation is about people as it is as much about technology. And at this point, I want to share with you some details on our upcoming training program on the Digital Transformation Essentials Workshop, which takes place. It starts on March 24th, and it's 4 sessions in the afternoon from 5 to 8. In this workshop, we will focus on how to successfully implement digital transformation objectives in your organization. Some of what we're discussing here today, but in greater detail. You'll have an opportunity to understand its effects on your business processes. And you will also learn how to use the right data insights to drive effective decision making. So I want to bring Shyam back into the conversation again because he will be the facilitator for the Digital Transformation Essentials Workshop. So Shyam, please use this opportunity to share with our viewers what will be covered in the upcoming workshop.
Definitely. So at the workshop, we'll be covering everything that we discussed, how to assess the readiness of your company to embark on these digital transformation initiatives. It's a lot of discussions because each industry is different. So we take a tailored approach, right? Helping these companies embrace these digital transformation initiatives. We would assess in terms of creating that or using rather that assessment matrix, which is proven to work, right, with different elements to it that need to be in place. We will ensure or help companies to align their data science and analytics efforts with their business strategy, which is so important and very critical. Without that alignment, it may not be as effective as it should be. But we do discuss how to align those data science and analytics and other technologies to successful digital transformation efforts. And another key thing, something that companies may struggle with, as we help companies with asking the right questions. What are the questions that you want the data to answer for you, which is tricky because sometimes you may use the wrong metrics. So we help with determining what are the right metrics, what are the right KPIs, key performance indicators, measurements, etc., that you want the data to have a look at, make positive changes, right? So asking the right questions to make optimal business decisions with these technologies, use the right metrics again to solve these problems, right? And again, it's magical once done well. How to change the culture, so change management. These are a bit different. They're more evolved, as you mentioned. They're innovative, and many benefits to all stakeholders. And in addition to helping companies change the culture, right? Their culture to essentially embrace data, right? And the digital transformation. Again, it's more about people, how to create the right team as well, because you need the right team for digital transformation. What are the roles? What are the responsibilities? How do you create cohesive teams? How do you lead these data science initiatives? Key as well. And creating an action plan. So at the end, you will have an action plan for successful digital transformation encompassing all these areas that need to be in alignment. So those are some of the main areas that we will be discussing. In addition to that, some of the tools that are needed, but it's not a technical, workshop. It's more about the strategic and many other areas that are there. So there will be a holistic and detailed plan for digital transformation, and also what challenges may exist and how to avoid those potential pitfalls, because you need to know what to do, also what not to do, so that it can be avoided and then lead to positive digital transformation efforts and innovation.
Great. Thank you so much, Shyam. And I'm really happy that you brought up the point that this is not a technology related course. It is more of a strategic management type workshop, because if you are starting your digital transformation journey, or maybe you're already on that journey, this is an excellent workshop for you to be a part of, because it lays the foundation for you to craft that DT strategy for your organization, or even to revise it based on the learning outcomes of the particular course. So I just want to remind our viewers that if you have pre-registered for today's live event, you will receive a $100 discount on the cost of the workshop. Registration is open. Please remember to request an interest-free payment plan if you need it. To register, visit our website at www.roytec.edu. You can also chat with us live via our website chat. We have a number of our marketing representatives on standby live on our website. So please connect with us there if you have questions about the upcoming digital transformation workshop, or any question on the whole about training and development programs at UE Roytec. You can also reach out to us. That is our corporate training unit at 225-1299 extension 2119 or via mobile 705-5633 or 482-8995. Of course, we are also available via email. Email us at corporatetraining@roytec.edu. So I want to bring Shyam back as we begin to wrap up our conversation today. And Shyam, we want to talk about the barriers to implementing a DT strategy in your organization. We've spoken a lot about the magic of digital transformation, but I am sure it takes some work for that magic to happen. And certainly on any journey, we are bound to have some road bumps, some barriers. So tell us, what are some of those barriers we can expect when we try to implement digital transformation in our organizations?
Okay, great. Thank you for that question. Another really important question. So there are several pitfalls that can occur for digital transformation efforts that you should avoid. For example, as mentioned, metrics, which are measurements, right? You need to start with a goal first. So what is the goal of your data or digital transformation initiatives? Then you decide on the metrics. How do you measure those goals? If you start with a metric before determining what the goal is, that's going to be a problem. It is a you start from the top, so that's the approach that you take, right? You do need support from the top and helping persons, everyone in there understand what it is. That is a key indication of the right way forward. So avoiding any misconceptions. These things, there are a lot of misconceptions as to what data science might be. Sometimes there may be other misconceptions as to what fintech or blockchain is, but clarifying those misconceptions is key. So changing the culture, that's another key success factor. So a pitfall may be, having to navigate how that culture is going to change management, which we do cover, and also hiring the right people, or not just that, but changing or evolving the roles of your team that you have, right? So you have your team at the company, right, that already exists, and changing the culture, making sure they understand what these things are about. Right? So a pitfall is to hire a dedicated data scientist. That's not necessary, depending on certain factors. You can use in-house persons, right? So sometimes people make the mistake of thinking that they may need etc. And they may need to do that, but it does depend. So a pitfall is to think that you do without assessing. So you need to determine what's the team, what's the cohesiveness, etc. And another pitfall is sometimes companies, sometimes people, they chase after the latest tool set without thinking if it will work for their company. There's no panacea, so no solution will work in every context. You have to think carefully, strategically as to what will work, what won't work, develop a mindset of experimentation, etc. Having that community there. So chasing after the latest tool set, like to mention a few, there are many tool sets that you can have. But again, it is more about people rather than the technology. It is both actually, people and technology. Right? So other pitfalls, just to mention a couple more. If you have data governance that is not in alignment, right? So the data governance isn't there. Or sometimes, you may have a fear of failure culture. That's a big pitfall because you do need to experiment. In appropriate circumstances, these things are very different than what existed up to probably a few years ago, right? But it is here. These technologies and digital transformation is here to help with companies and their initiatives moving forward.
Right, wonderful. So, as we begin to wrap up, I just want to leave our audience with three main takeaways that I have gotten from Shyam. Number one, if you are embarking on your digital transformation journey, you need to understand what digital transformation is to you in your organization and how it's going to benefit your organization. All right, like Shyam said, there are so many tools out there, fancy, expensive tools. Do not be too quick to invest in tools. Understand your business and the transformation that needs to take place within your organization and what you can use where you are to begin that transformation process. Secondly, the culture. All right, in organizations, digital transformation will only survive in an organization that is creative and innovative, where the leadership encourages experimentation. There's excitement around continuous learning and improvement, where persons are allowed to do better, be better, to envision everything that you can become as a company. So culture is really, really important, getting people on board. And the final point, but by no means, it's not as important as the others, not at all. In fact, it might be the most important point, because for us here at UE Roytec, we believe that digital transformation is more about people than it is about technology. So therefore, training your staff is absolutely important as you embark on this particular journey. You want to be able to optimize your operations. To optimize your operations, it means you need to optimize the skill sets of your staff. And that's what we are here at UE Roytec to help you with. We invite you to partner with us as your training provider, and we can provide the training that you need in your organization to upskill your people and to help them to embrace this digital transformation journey that we must all eventually take. All right. So I want to thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. We trust that the conversation has benefited you. Even if you have not begun that digital transformation journey, we hope that we would have given you enough information here today that you have become excited about the possibility of the transformation that can take place in your own organizations. I want to especially thank my guest, Shyam Mohammed, for leading this very important discussion. Before we leave, I just want to share with you a sneak peek of our training schedules for the month of April and May. Please feel free to visit our website at www.roytec.edu. Under our corporate training schedule, you will find our range of offerings for the month of May and June. Look out for our next live event. Yes, we are going to be back on Thursday, the 24th of March, same time during your lunchtime, starting at noon. At this particular live event, we are going to be discussing the relevance of using data to drive your decision making. In this particular live event, we are especially reaching out to marketing professionals, digital marketing and social media marketing professionals. We're going to have a very, very exciting conversation as a follow-up of digital transformation, how digital transformation impacts our marketing and social media professionals. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. I wish you a great rest of the day and see you back here next week, Thursday. All the best.
When nothing is sure, everything is possible. In times of crisis, embrace the power of possibility, the power of you, in choosing a bright future with UE Roytec. Crises bring opportunities, opportunities which UE Roytec has mastered and used for growth and renewal. Our fully accredited cutting-edge programs will position you to take advantage of career opportunities in an ever-changing and exciting new world. Whether face-to-face, remote, or hybrid, UE Roytec's rewarding learning experience is shaped by a globally connected curriculum, delivered by highly competent faculty and backed by enabling technology. The possibilities are endless. We have 34 years of experience in empowering learners. Join us as we take hold of the future and place you on your path to career success. Register today to experience the possibilities at UE Roytec.
UE Roytec, your path to career success. To learn more, log on to www.roytec.edu